Hi all, my name is Connor and welcome to Security Radio Security Officer Tips Part 2. First of all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I would like to preface this video with a little about my security experience. I have worked for 3 private security companies. I won't list them here out of privacy concerns, but the reasons for switching companies for me was either better pay in hours or less of a commute. I got into security because I wanted to do something out of the box, like it's not your typical manual labor entry-level job. I always wanted to join the military too, and this may not be completely relatable, but I think security is kind of my outlet to help and protect people. Also, if you're interested in joining security, look into it and don't let anything hold you back. It is more straightforward than one might think. If I can do it, you can too. I have learned so much from working security at handfuls of sites and several different security companies as a security officer. The greatest lesson I've inferred or learned from my training would be to prioritize your safety. Whatever that means, be it disengaging from or verbally de-escalating a situation, keeping your distance, and using your senses. I like to say default to your training, but it's true. If you don't know how to go about something, ask your coworker, or supervisor, or manager, or just don't do things that weren't covered in your training, period. Of course, if you were trained and trained well to perform a service or task at hand, just follow your training. Someone would call this sixth sense too fake or unknown. I think it's more like faith. Or common sense. It's a faith sense. Do right and be kind. Kindness and compassion won't go unnoticed, and there's no such thing as too much positivity. I think it's important to touch on not portraying yourself as a police officer. I think of the way too gung-ho security officer that's got a black electrical tape over a badge that has security scratched out, carrying dozens of weapons, has a blue and red light bar in his vehicle, and as closely as possible mimicking or impersonating law enforcement. In my state, and I think other states may have similar laws, but don't quote me on that, in my state it is illegal and a felony to imply that you are or pretend to be in law enforcement. Security officers are not law enforcement. Security officers may act as a liaison between the general public at their site and law enforcement or first responders during or after incidents, and also to prevent incidents. Security officers in my state may also act as an agent of law enforcement by carrying out duties as directed as police. I think I've touched on this in my other video, interacting with law enforcement. Other things you should know as a security officer include that unless you work completely alone, like at a closed construction zone or abandoned building, you will most likely deal with rude and angry people. Of course, when they are intoxicated too, that can be difficult. But that's definitively security in a nutshell, to sometimes verbally de-escalate situations and to observe and report incidents or anything unusual or suspicious. One of the most frustrating situations I encountered while working security was a laser being constantly pointed in my direction at the site I was working at. This happened over and over and over. Finally, I did some research, and lo and behold, it is a misdemeanor in my state to point a laser at an on-duty security officer. While this information was helpful, I ended up just parking in a different area between patrols because my supervisor told me we couldn't really do anything about it. And it didn't happen again. So while I was successful, I had to deal with and push through being constantly harassed there for a while. Maybe I was just a target of anti-security sentiment? A super huge deal in security and business in general is courtesy and customer service. How you treat others should reflect not only your consideration and compassion and sometimes empathy, but just by being so driven, to go above and beyond and expatiate a giving mentality to your clientele. And of course, you can't forget the basics. Observe and report. Be on time, early is better. Follow your post orders. Deter, detect, report. Brush up on your training as often as necessary. Take care of yourself. Brush your teeth. Shower. Eat consistently and healthy. Get enough sleep. Avoid alcohol. Stay productive and on task while working. At work, that's all you should be thinking about. Work. Stay hydrated. Be positive. Get haircuts as needed. Do your laundry. Be prepared in every facet of life. Have yourself ready to start work when you clock in. Exercise often. So those are 21 great ideas in life. This pretty much sums it up for my job as a security officer. It is really like other jobs, too. You want to make sure that there is room for career advancement, pay raises, and benefits. I think a decent commute is important, too. Who wants to drive 100 miles a day just to get to work and back? Keep in mind your personal safety. I like a good, better, best mentality, or a red, yellow, green. Am I safe? Can I be safer? How can I be safest? Even our ancestors, for survival, had snake detection circuitry to see and avoid snakes when we lived in trees. It is a similar threat detection and response system in respect to many fears. Fears can be modulated and conquered. For the snake example, if big or venomous enough, they could qualify as predators. So our response is defense. It is the same phenomenon instead of being afraid for other fears. It is threat detection and response versus being afraid. I mean, sure, a little fears may be okay, but what good is being completely paranoid or pretending to be invincible? For fears or threats, we should detect and ultimately respond to them. In other ways, too. For instance, if you're faced with hunger, eat food. Thirsty, drink water. Tired, sleep. And so on and so forth. Thanks for listening.